Reeves. I'm an osteopath from Parkdale Osteo Clinic. Today I just want to show you a few tips on how to use a spiky ball. We'll focus particularly on the area between the shoulder blades, which is a common area for tightness to build up. And it's obviously that hard to reach spot as well. So all you need is a good old spiky ball and a bit of wall space. Now for those that are a little bit shoulder impaired at the moment, if they're struggling with an injury, a little tip I might often suggest is placing the ball inside a stocking or like an old football sock, and then you have a little bit more control with the ball. In effect, you can place it behind you there and then control the position of the ball in that way. I don't have that with me at the moment, so we'll work with the ball as is. Basically, if you're in a position where you have some degree of mobility through the arm, a good way is to start placing the ball. In effect, we want to try and work down the shoulder blade on the inside, between the shoulder blade and the spine. There's often an area where muscle tightness can build up. Basically, you want to position yourself with your feet slightly away from the wall. I tend to put one foot forward of the other, and it gives me a little bit more balance and the ability to lean back into the wall. There's different options. Some people prefer to move up and down in that sort of fashion, and you can feel the ball working over tight bands of muscle there. Some people also like to find that tight band. In effect, we'd call it like a sweet spot where you can feel a little bit more intensity in that area, and you can then hold some pressure into that point. In effect, what we're trying to do there is create a release of that tight band in the muscle. It will be a little bit intense at the start. If you can hold that position, just try and breathe normally, think happy thoughts, and in effect that pain should slowly start to dissipate. Once that occurs, you can then move into another position, and it might just be a subtle change in direction or angle, and then you can apply pressure into that point as well. And I'd normally recommend tackling about 3 or 4 different spots and then leaving it from that area. You can then simply move across just by shifting your body. I'm now onto the other side between my shoulder blade and spine. Again, I can just reposition to find a point. Another little tip, sometimes to expose that area a bit more, is to actually support your arm. So if I'm working down my left side here, I'm supporting my left arm. It just moves that shoulder blade a bit further out to the side or a bit more laterally, and that gives you a little bit more exposure into that area. Okay. Another position that you can use the spiky ball in is the back end of the shoulder area, so what we often refer to as the rotator cuff area or posterior shoulder. In effect, you can position yourself side onto the wall, and then I'm tending to point my feet in this direction, and again I just start to lean in towards the wall. I like to support the arm as well. It helps you to relax that arm, and also again puts the shoulder blade in a good position there. In effect, rolling back and forth with a massage type effect, or you can hone in on one spot if you find that, again, point that's a little bit more intense in awareness. So you want a little bit of discomfort, but you don't want masses of pain with this. You certainly want to elicit a degree of familiar pain, and if you find that spot, keep some pressure into it. Again, remember to breathe, and then ideally that pressure and that pain should start to dissipate. Another position where there's tightness is across the front of the chest as well. So in effect, in this position, you can face into the wall, and we're working into the pectoral muscle there. So you just need to turn your head either way, and you can start to roll more side to side, and that will get some good pressure into that chest muscle, and that should also help to relieve some tension there. It's always good to follow this sort of roll where you're doing the spiky ball with some stretching as well. So stretching either through the chest, or if you've done between the shoulder blades, stretching out sort of forwards through that way, or stretching the back of the shoulder as well.